Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. The 2023 Ontario Parasport Games took place over the weekend all over the Durham region. Alex Smyth was at the Ability Centre in Whitby and has some notes to share from his coverage. Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going well, Dave. You know, it was a fun chance to get out there to kind of cover some of the activities that were happening, speak to some of the key folks in charge, and as well as some of the people participating in the games this weekend. So it was a lot of fun.
What was your impression of the Ability Centre?
Yeah, it was really phenomenal. It was funny because when I was there, I always thought to myself, it's like, I swore I would have been here before at some point, and I was kind of thinking back and realized for whatever reason it was like a matter of coincidence that I had never visited the Ability Center before, even though my team when I was working on ATW or Level Playing Field, they had been there multiple times, but for whatever reason I had missed it every single time. So I was blown away. It's a beautiful facility, fully accessible, offering so many different spaces for adaptive and accessible sports to take place. It was really, really impressive.
You had a chance to speak with organizers and athletes. You interviewed one of them live on air last Friday. Who else are you going to be sharing interviews with?
So today we're going to be sharing a clip from my interview with James Titmarsh, who is the sporting co-chair, sport technical chair, who is kind of overseeing the actual sports aspects of the Ontario Parasport Games. But later on in the week, we will also be sharing interviews from a Paris ice hockey player, Matt Miller, and then also co-chair Mike Frogley, who kind of expanded on different aspects of the kind of the preparation of the games and the impact that the games really share. But with our interview with James today, it's really about kind of talking on the sports and kind of how important it is to offer up a diversity of sports and provide the opportunity for athletes to come out and really compete at a level that many of them haven't been able to compete at before. So this weekend, you are the sport technical chair. What does that title kind of entail, and what's the responsibilities you have this weekend?
So the lead up required me to meet with all of the sports and their PSOs, provincial sport organizations, to get the technical documents and the requirements of the game set up. During the weekend, my role is kind of just floating around, looking at all the sports, keeping an eye on making sure we have all the volunteers, we have the food services set up, things like that, and just kind of helping out the PSOs where required. But otherwise, it's pretty easy job for the weekend of just being able to watch all the sports.
And what are you most looking forward to this weekend? There's so many different sports going on. You got some test sports that are taking place. You have a bunch of different competitions in a bunch of different venues. So what kind of jumps out to you?
Well, my background's sledge hockey, so I always love to watch the sledge hockey. I'm looking forward to the wheelchair basketball. This year we have the Ontario junior team coming out to participate, and that's pretty cool. They're getting set up for the Canada Games in a couple weeks, so they're going to be kind of rolling really well. Sitting volleyball, we have over 30 to 40 athletes coming out, so that's pretty awesome. That'll be at the Ability Center. And then hopefully to be able to check out some of the curling, some of the skiing. It really just depends, weather dependent, obviously, that I'll be able to kind of hit them all.
Can you talk a bit about the role that the Ontario Parasport Games plays for athletes and teams, especially on the provincial side? Like, how is it serving a purpose to not only give an opportunity to athletes who deserve a chance to compete on the provincial level, but maybe serve as a platform for athletes who may want to try to catch the attention of some more national teams and coaches and competitors?
Yeah, so for a lot of these athletes, this is their Paralympics or their Olympics. This is the highest form of competition that they'll be able to attend. And for Ontario to be putting these on is huge for the athletes. We don't get that opportunity a lot for a lot of these athletes, and to be able to have a large event where they could see multiple sports, compete in their own sports, almost have an athletes village, have an opening ceremony is like, I've been a part of these games since 2008, and being able to see how it's grown, how it's included more sports, and how it's evolved has been unbelievable.
what's been the biggest change that you've noticed since you started being involved in the Ontario Parasport Games this year?
Athlete participation. It's growing phenomenal. I think coming out of COVID, we were very concerned what our numbers would look like, and it's done very well. It's not exactly where maybe we had hoped pre-2019. 2019, we were at a really, really good number as well, but it's coming back, and knowing that sport's coming back for a lot of these athletes with disabilities and whatnot, coming back to sport gives them that chance to be free again and jump into their athletics and not necessarily worry about everything else going on behind the scenes. They can just compete.
Why did Whitby make sense for having the games here this year?
The volunteers. They're the reason that we could do it. They're the reason that we were able to put the bid in. Without support, these games wouldn't be hosted. We have over 300 volunteers throughout the whole weekend. We have donations from all over, Rotary clubs, corporations, Ability Center donating their time. Like, without those support, these games don't happen, and that's where, you know, we lean on them really hard, but we appreciate the work that they put in, and the athletes do as well.
Can you talk a bit about how this competition compares to kind of more the local club level competitions? Because you're a member of a local sludge hockey team. How is coming to these games different?
It gives you a chance to feel like it's more professional. It gives that professional feel. So we'll have, like, for example, with sledge hockey, we have the 3 referee system where it's a more professional atmosphere. We have the announcing of goals. We'll have anthems. We had Spot, the dog, do the ceremonial puck drop. As I said, with wheelchair basketball, they have the Ontario Games team coming. So some of these athletes will have never had a chance to play against this high level of competition. So for them, that's a chance for them to see where they can reach to and what they can work on. And for some of the athletes out of the Ability Center, it's brand new to them because that wheelchair basketball program out of the Ability Center, running by Mike Frogley, is brand new. So he's able to take those athletes and show them where they can get to, what kind of heights they can reach. And you never know, maybe somebody on the junior national team is watching, a scout or something, and sees somebody on the Ability Center team that goes, I got to keep an eye on that one.
And you mentioned earlier that you work with the provincial sport organizations. And what does it mean to bring in these trial sports, these games that may not have gotten the, I guess, the attention or the exposure before, that now, okay, you're trying it out at these games. It's a great opportunity to grow the sport and the awareness around that sport.
For sure, and it allows our local area to have them involved and create a program in Whitby, in Durham, which is awesome, because without that, they had never used that before. Otherwise, like, yeah, for some of the PSOs traveling around Ontario, they might not even know some of the facilities that we have in Whitby. So they get to visit Ability Center for the first time. They get to visit Iroquois Park. They get to see Durham College and the work they put in. And it's pretty unbelievable. And so for the demo sports to be starting in a couple years, maybe we're talking about para-equestrian as the next big sport, or maybe we're talking about power chair hockey. Like, that's the excitement we're trying to build.
For maybe a fan or someone at home who kind of sees all the attention, sees all the great athletes competing this weekend, and they kind of start to think to themselves, okay, I want to give it a try. Why should someone get involved in parasport, and where can they go to find out more?
So you can visit our website at durhamparasports2023.ca, and to help support, like, I'll take my example from the Steelhawks. We're always looking for volunteers, because the volunteers and the able-bodied athletes is what helps support the physical disability athletes that are, you know, help them into a sled or help them carry sleds or carry hockey bags. We know that stuff can be heavy, can be cumbersome. With the volunteers and the support, that's how we keep the program running, and that's how we keep growing, and that's how we expand and get more athletes and more people in sport, because there's a lot of families that'll go to a Grandview or go to an Ability Center and won't know about any of these sports around. So with the Parasport Games and the Be the Roar and things like that, they can find out about this and go, oh, my son or daughter could play this because I saw that during that weekend.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time and chatting with me today.
Of course, anytime. Thank you.
Alex, you heard James mention the robot dog named Spot.
Yep.
What was the significance of Spot being there, and what did Spot look like?
Yeah, so I'll start with the description of Spot for someone who doesn't know. So Spot is this four-legged, metallic-looking kind of device. They call it a robot dog or a dog, but really it's a kind of silver cylinder held up on four legs, and it kind of walks and maneuvers itself sort of similar to what a dog or another animal would. In its front, it's literally just a flat black screen that's where the sensors and everything are. The legs and elbows are kind of bent towards the back, so it kind of has a weird walking gait, but everything is done in step with one another. And we're playing the video right now of the ceremonial first puck drop. So they wanted to connect the Parasport Games in with some of the sponsors, and also Ontario Tech University, the local university. So they had a team from the university out who was working with Spot to help really kind of showcase technology, innovation, and raise the profile of both. It's an opportunity to raise the profile of the technology available, but also raise the profile for the Ontario Parasport Games.
Very cool. Well, Alex, you want to pick up a little bit on that Spot conversation in the roundtable in about an hour's time on the show. But for now, we say see you later. Thanks for this, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
That's Alex Smyth. To learn more about the games, you can visit DurhamRegion2023.ca. That's DurhamRegion2023.ca. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-télé, or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-télé, or download the podcasts wherever you listen.